Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
So, many of you know that before coming to Baltimore, my family was living in Charlotte, North Carolina. And things are really different in Charlotte and in the South in general. One of the things that blew my mind away was that clergy, no matter what type of clergy, were treated with the utmost respect. In fact, in hospitals, parking for clergy was better than the parking reserved for the doctors. The Jewish community in Charlotte is strong and vibrant, albeit a much smaller community than ours. So I want to share with you some of the things I learned during the almost 5 years my family was in North Carolina. People talk really, really slowly. I'm from California, my husband's from New Jersey, and we talk in paragraphs. It took us some time to get used to, and it for sure took some time for our neighbors to get used to understanding us. As soon as our eldest started to say the word milk with 3 syllables, we realized we needed to start looking for jobs closer back north. I also learned in Charlotte that the Jews are God's chosen people. I'm sure you've heard that before, hopefully in the context of Jewish education. But in Charlotte, it means one of 2 things. Either it means, Jews, you are the chosen people, and that's amazing, and we believe it. Or it means, Jews, you might be the chosen people, but we have a mission to make you like us. And you never knew exactly which chosen people you were. And finally, the third part of living in Charlotte and the South in general, it took a little bit of getting used to, was the phrase, have a blessed day. What does it even mean to have a blessed day? Again, like many things in the South, it could have a double meaning. Either it was said in this extreme sincerity, right, that you and your day should be filled with blessings, or it's quite a polite yet nefarious way to tell people how you're really thinking about them. But let's focus on the first one, right, the one with intention, the one that says we should be able to bless other people should be able to receive our blessings, and our days should be blessed. In my own experience, I've had days which I felt blessings. Giving birth to my children, watching them meet their milestones, both Jewish and in general. And though I have all of the blessings in my life, I don't wake up every day and say, how is this day blessed? How is this day different than the one before it or the one that's going to come after it? And I kind of miss hearing, have a blessed day. Jewish tradition teaches us that we're supposed to say 100 brachot each day. Jewish tradition also gives us a really good head start on that lofty goal. One of the first things that we do in the morning, in the way our liturgy is structured, is to say a list of blessings. For many years, probably all of us called these blessings Birkot HaShachar, the morning blessings. But thanks to our colleagues in the Reform movement, they've been renamed Nisim Shebachol Yom, miracles that happen every single day. So now, we don't just wake up and recite a list of blessings. Automatically our attention is turned that each one of these simple things makes our day blessed. There's another common opportunity for blessing in Jewish tradition that's on Friday nights, when parents, depending on your community, have often blessed their children before candle lighting or before Kiddush. And traditionally they're blessed to be like Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, and Leah, Ephraim, and Menashe. The first 4 probably sound pretty familiar, but who are these 2 guys that get tacked on to the end? Well, we read about them today. Jacob, at perhaps the most vulnerable moment of his life, when he knew he was going to die, called for his still favorite son, Joseph. He said, El Shaddai appeared to me in Luz in the land of Canaan, and he blessed me and said to me, I will make you fertile and numerous, making of you a community of peoples. I will assign this land to your offspring to come for an everlasting possession. We've heard that before, right? The Jewish people are going to be blessed like that. Now, your 2 sons who were born of you in the land of Egypt, they should be mine. Ephraim and Manasseh shall be mine no less than Reuven and Shimon. Ephraim and Manasseh are Joseph's 2 sons. They're Joseph's 2 sons, Jacob's grandsons. And so the question is, on Friday night, why is it these guys who are getting tacked on? I said to the end, because I listed the women first, but usually they are first, right? Why are they part of this Friday night bracha? And there's a tradition that teaches us that even though they were born in Egypt, Joseph's sons remained really nice little Jewish boys under the influence of idolatry. And for that reason, they earn this place of honor in our Friday night brachot. And yes, perhaps they deserve a shout out for maintaining the identity of their ancestors. But perhaps there's also some favoritism still involved. And this is where I think we should all begin to worry, because how many times in Bereshit have we learned that favoritism doesn't necessarily lead you in the right direction? But most importantly is listen to the words that Jacob uses when he blesses these boys. Hamalach hagoel oti mikora yivarech et hana'arim vayikare vahem shemi v'shem avotai Avraham v'Yitzchak v'yigdu larov b'kerev haaretz. The angel who has redeemed me from all the wrath so relentless, I will divide them in Jacob, I will scatter them in Israel. That, I apologize, actually was not the bracha I wanted to tell you. May the angel who has not led me to harm bless these lads, and in them may they be recalled. And in the names of my father Avraham and Yitzchak, may they be teeming multitudes upon the earth. So as a side note, if you were looking about adoption in the Torah, this might be a really good example of where it starts. Because Jacob in this blessing is claiming his grandsons as his own and saying that they now have a piece of inheritance of the land. So there were 12 tribes, and now there's 14 tribes. How did it go earlier when Joseph was favored amongst all of his brothers? He landed in a pit and in a dungeon, and only now are they reunited. So we should maybe worry about that a little bit. But I want to show you 3 other brachot that Jacob gives to his sons. Reuven, he says, you are my firstborn, my might, and the first fruit of my vigor, exceeding in rank and exceeding in honor. Unstable as water, you shall excel no longer. For when you mounted your father's bed, you brought disgrace, my couch he mounted. Interesting blessing for a firstborn. Jacob even manages to work in that unfortunate incident with Reuven and one of his wives. So what is this really? Is it a blessing? How do you imagine Reuven felt at this moment? So Shimon and Levi, they come next. This is the bracha they get. And if you remember, they stood up for their sister Dinah in the land of Shechem. This is what Jacob tells them. Cursed be their anger so fierce and their wrath so relentless. I will divide them in Jacob, scatter them in Israel. I don't see any of you lining up to get in line for a blessing from Jacob at this moment, because it seems that they can sound pretty harsh. But something to notice is that in these brachot, Jacob doesn't shy away of saying that the person that he is blessing was imperfect, right? He's able to hold what's special and able to hold mistakes at the same time. So we're going to finally look at Judah. All right, now Judah makes out really well in this group. He really gets the bracha that should have gone to the firstborn. Judah is a lion's whelp. Oh, pray, my son, have you grown? He crouches, lies like a lion, like the king of beasts who dare rouse him. The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor the ruler's staff from between his feet, so that tribute shall come to him, and the homage of peoples be his. That's a beautiful bracha. There's only one problem with it, though, is it doesn't come true, right? It's left unfulfilled. The scepter does fall from Judah, and his descendants lose the land of Israel. So what is it that we have to learn from the way that Jacob is blessing his sons and his grandsons. And here are some interesting ideas to think about. One is the idea simply that when we know that we're about to die, it's an amazing opportunity to take a moment, bless your children, bless your grandchildren, and take all the people you love and care about, gather them around you, share memories, and offer blessings for their futures. But that leads me to think about, why wait so long, right? Why are we waiting till we know we're going to die before we bless our children and our grandchildren? So let's go back to the South, where multiple times a day I heard, "May you have a blessed day." And think about for a moment, what if here in Maryland, and I know there probably are places in Maryland, but let's focus on Beth Am, right? What if here at Beth Am, we tried an experiment where we blessed each other? We offered and received blessings. So I'm going to offer a challenge, but first I'm going to offer a warning. Jewish tradition gifts us with a set liturgy. We have a formula for blessings. We have a formula in the order that they come in. We have a formula for the blessings that happen before meals. We even have a formula that celebrates formulas, Pesach, where the entire Seder is a formula of how to do things. So we have blessings for everything already. There are blessings everywhere, but we are used to using them in the context of liturgy, in the context of our service. When I was doing training in pastoral care, I learned as a rabbi, the idea of spontaneous prayer is not in our typical tool bag, right? So when I would visit people in hospitals, I had my rabbi's manual. And when they wanted a prayer, it was natural to me to open up to a psalm and read a psalm or say a mishaberach, a prayer for healing. But I also learned that if you're not Jewish, that's not necessarily what you expect on a pastoral visit. You expect someone to come in and to bless you and to pray spontaneously without the words of a book in your presence. And I had no idea how to do that. That sounded really, really not Jewish to me because it's not our norm. But as you may know about other things, practice makes perfect. So what did I do for the year and a half I was in pastoral care? I had a very dear friend who was studying for the priesthood, and we would hang out sometimes, and he would then say to me randomly a scenario and say, "Give a blessing." And I'd be like, "Okay, here's the blessing." And we did this for months. We did this for a really long time because it was a part of his tradition, and he was really good at it. And so he was like, "Well, you're just going to practice till you get good at it too." And that was really cool because it wasn't something I was learning in seminary. So this is where I want to start challenging us. I want us to practice. I want to challenge us not to wait for Friday nights to offer blessings to our children and grandchildren. I wanted to challenge us not just to use the Nisim Shebachol Yom, right, these opening brachot, as a way of reaching the goal of 100 blessings each day. So Jacob can teach us many things. Blessings are not like cookie cutters. One size does not fit all. Everyone is deserving of blessing. 3 sons, all of whom did some terrible things and made some really bad choices, as well as 2 children, grandchildren, who really should not have been entitled to an inheritance in Israel, get blessed by Jacob. Blessings do not have to shy away from difficult relationships or painful moments. Reuben is described as exceeding in rank and honor before Jacob mentions this moment that tears them apart. And perhaps most important is that after Jacob's long, long life filled with moments of both joy and pain, he feels empowered to bless another. So, what if we try it here? What if we practiced blessing each other? So I want to give an example of this, but I have to admit I'm now cheating because clearly I'm prepared, okay? And we're talking about spontaneous blessing. So I have to give the disclaimer that I know I'm cheating. But I want to give you an example of what this might look like. Rav Tyler, As you start the next 3 months, and hopefully for many, many more, I offer you a blessing of wisdom and discernment, a time of growth and a time of joy as you lead our community. And here comes the spontaneous part, because I'm about to put Rav Tyler on the spot. How does it make you feel to receive a blessing from one person to another and between two people who we don't know each other very well yet? But what's it feel like to be blessed?
I think that you made me feel seen in a very particular way. If you just read something from the book, I know that you know how to read the Siddur, but I feel like you saw something in me when you crafted your words. It's really beautiful. Yeah.
Okay. So in order to get comfortable giving a blessing, you have to get comfortable receiving a blessing, right? And so that's why Rav Tyler had the hard part, because I was prepared. I could bring my rabbi's manual anywhere I go. I got to prepare. But you have to be comfortable to receive a blessing in order to give them. And what I realized is that I really liked to receive all of those blessings, right? I was in the supermarket. This woman I would never see again said, "Have a blessed day." And she meant it. She meant that I should go forward with my day in blessing. That's an awesome way to walk around. That's an awesome way to be so empowered, right? That one person can gift to another. So I would like to offer each and everyone here a very blessed and joyful Shabbat, filled with gratitude that we can be present with our family and friends in safe ways, and with the intention of going forward, bringing blessings to those around us, individually and face to face, and when we're together. Shabbat Shalom.